Welcome in. Good evening to all those who are watching.
Hello.
Welcome to another night. In case whether you catch the replay, guys, or whether you catch the live. Mary Carol, welcome in. Good to see you.
Hi, Mary.
I kind of figured we'd catch a few tonight. But it is good to see you, Mary Carol. Hope you're doing good. Hope Adam, Blake, and Reba are doing good.
Yes.
Jeannie, there you see what I was saying, guys? Here we go.
Jeannie. Good to see you.
So I won't be surprised if there's not a couple, but I also know they're a lot busy with the stream over there.
Right.
With dad builds too. So that's quite all right. I mean, obviously, I want to take the time here to thank for everybody for their prayers and wishes. Honestly, I mean, because I may even try to download some of the stuff that I from the memorial service. It hit me hard. Yeah. I barely got through half of the eulogy, which I did part. My deacon from my church did the other part. Disney Springs was great. We had a great time. You'll get to see some pictures. You'll probably get to see some pictures. I may put them all into a small video and just put music to it and do a small video.
Yeah.
And then I may add some pictures for my dad.
Yep.
From the past two and kind of do a memorial service. Just kind of do a memory and see why you guys, for you guys, if you still have your parents, I'm telling you now, cherish them.
Yeah.
Because when they're gone, they're gone. And now now I'm on the other end of that. And with both my parents are gone.
Yeah.
I now am on the board line that says, whatever you have time with your parents, cherish them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even if you have issues with them, cherish them, because no matter what, you only got one set. You only got one set of parents.
Oh, I know.
Well,
I know that for sure.
Well, yeah. Most people only have one set.
Well, most have only one set.
I'm saying most because there are some that have more than one. So.
Well, yeah, there's been divorces and that. My parents stayed married for happily 57 years. So.
Or like my sister, where she was not part of our family. She got adopted into our family.
Well, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Stepdad.
Yep, exactly.
Yes,
so, I mean, and it don't matter whether it's a step parent or a parent.
Yep.
Yeah.
All I know is we have a short life on this planet. Make sure you cherish them.
Yeah,
of course.
Anyways, but to answer Jeannie's question, had a great day. We actually did. We had a kind of a daddy day where my sisters would always put crazy different Disney ears and different hats on my dad and take pictures and so we kind of did that today. I did pick up some goodies, which will I'll kind of show you. But you won't be. Not everything will be revealed until the rest of it. I'll say I'll reveal it, but I won't reveal it. You'll understand later. Some of it I'll save for Saturday night.
Okay.
But other than that, my day was good. I mean, we got some Ghirardelli ice cream today, which
nice.
Oh yeah.
I forget how good that ice cream is.
It's pretty high up there.
It's funny. I've never been there.
Man,
you're missing out. I'm saying you're missing out.
Yeah,
I'm always full.
If you like ice cream,
I do.
You're missing. Or if you like chocolate, Ghirardelli's is one of the best.
Yep.
Here's the thing with me and with chocolate. Sometimes it agrees with me, sometimes it doesn't. Let's put it that way. All depends on what it is.
We gotta have to fix this guy, Richard.
Oh gosh.
You know what? That's understandable.
I know.
Oh, it's easy to fix. It's easy to fix, Dave. Only thing we have to do is take them down to Hershey's Land.
There you
I've
go.
been to Hershey. I've been to Hershey's, and I love Hershey. I can go to the Hershey store in New York right now. I could. Because it's right down the street from Disney.
Oh, the M&M
As
store
well
is great. A good one down there,
There you
too.
go. We'll take you to the M&Ms and we'll let you eat all the M&Ms in the M&M store.
Yeah,
I've already been to both, and I love them both.
I love them both.
But I do
like
like
the plushies there.
chocolate.
Weirdly,
I just never.
how do
had
I like
it
the
down
plushies at
in
M&M store? I do not know.
I love M&Ms. They're good.
Anyway,
They're delicious.
that was sweet. And that's cool. And
Where'd you eat at?
cool. I love them. But I can't tell you. And I can't tell you guys this. My client had a great time on their trip.
Good.
Now, and we've talked about it before, Richard. You've been on the cruises. That their first day they actually got sick because the sea was kind of rough. She said when they left port. So, she said a lot of people were having to get the adrenaline and other stuff.
Oh, of course. I've had a few cruises where it was a ghost ship. There was only about 6 people in the whole ship that were walking around, counting cast members.
Oh my!
That's kind of like one of them. What did I tell you about my Carnival Elation? That Sunday when it was our sea day.
Yeah, that's how bad it was when I went
our
on
ship
one.
was doing that.
Wow.
Yeah. We were.
I was maybe one
chasing in front of a hurricane
that I saw through the whole ship walking around on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Until later in the evening,
you know what,
when
Dave?
we got past the storm.
You might have to agree with me on that. When those days do happen, and you know that you have a good belly, and you know that you're not going to get sick, those are the perfect days to do the things that you know there's always a line to do.
Yep. Characters.
Perfect. Well, characters can't come out on those times.
As well as shopping.
Caveat.
Oh no! If you take a look, you ought to go back and take. You know how I watched the Port of Miami, the cruise. I love watching the cruises come in. I've seen some of the videos that have been shot within the last week, and some of the storms. They've had some horrendous storms. In fact, they had to clear the deck on one cruise because the wind was so strong.
Yes.
One of the cruise lines actually got damaged because of high winds in Jamaica.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
But it was
people were having a fit.
You know what? Here's the crazy thing about it, though. It's amazing how quick they can actually get them fixed and get them out of port by the time it's ready to get out of port, or make sure that it's seaworthy to sail.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I'm happy that I have not had a bad instance on West Coast, because I heard it's worse over here. We get worse winds, worse storms. It's a different ocean.
Right.
Well, unless you're in the middle of hurricane season, then you're in big trouble.
That too.
Very, very little hurricanes over here. We have mudslides, but we have earthquakes. That's
you know earthquakes. You know the hurricanes in the Atlantic ain't to be toyed with.
No, but that's mostly on the
and they've been getting worse. And the thing of it is, some of them have been getting worse when they've either been small or they've hit and dig.
Yeah,
they always go just like the East Coast. They always go to the left, so it's always Japan.
Well,
no, not always. Not always. It depends on where they're coming. It depends on how far they are.
Yeah, it depends on how far they are.
If they're further east,
when I was in
Caribbean,
Seattle,
then they can come in and hit the east.
I lived in Seattle for over 30 years and went through one hurricane there.
You know, okay. Here's something, no joke. Okay, this was like a couple of years ago. Okay, so I was at my mom's house, and I could feel like, the house move, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because, for me, I'm like, okay, what is this? Come to find out, it was an earthquake.
Yeah.
And what was interesting about that one was that it actually damaged the Washington Monument in D.C. Now,
I heard
mind
about
you,
that one. Yeah.
now, wait, this gets even better. Later in the week, the Jersey Shore had a hurricane. So you had an earthquake and a hurricane in the same week. That was the most craziest week I had ever had in my life. And what was even more interesting was that some of my relatives were down the store. Now, me, the first thing I thought of was this: earthquake, tsunami, the Jersey Shore. My relatives were there. So me, I was all like panicked that entire day. And I actually called, my mom, and I'm like, what was that? And she's like, it was an earthquake. And I'm thinking, okay, do you want me to come? Because, I was going to go and see her. And she's like, no, we're to stay here. But we did get a call from my relatives. They were fine.
Yeah.
But that whole week was just weird. Now, in New Jersey, we very rarely get earthquakes. We do get hurricanes and we get rain, but an earthquake, that was weird.
Yeah, we get earthquakes over here every 5 or so odd years. It's more often than you. But we don't get no hurricanes. We've had one hurricane in 30 years.
Right.
But we get earthquakes every 5 years, and we've had one. We've had one that was a 9.5.
Woo! Let me ask you. Wow. Well, let me ask you. Speaking
it was big
of,
enough in Seattle. It is where the Echo Center was. It was big enough during that time. They felt it in California.
Well, let me ask you this question. The earthquake that just happened over in Hawaii, let me ask you this. Was Alani okay? Because it was in one of the islands and they could feel it in California. So I'm like, okay.
Just like
is Alani okay?
So when you were in school, for you and Dave probably, when you guys were in school, way back when, but you were taught how to assess a hurricane, right? Kind of.
Well,
listen, I grew up in Michigan where we had to worry about snowstorms and weather lake effect. Trust me, that was bad enough.
I'm talking about Mike then. I forgot that you weren't from Orlando.
Here's the thing with this, okay? Now, for the hurricanes, normally what would happen is it would hit the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
But we would watch it spin to where we were, which was near Philly. And with what we would normally get would be rain. Now, mind you, I was always taught in a storm like that, you go to the basement, for with the tornadoes and stuff, and that was it. I was literally only down in the basement once in my life, and it was many years ago.
Yeah,
and that was the only
thing about
that's because you were taught
only
that.
Get rain and rain.
Here's the thing about that, Mike.
You were taught that for a reason. It's because sometimes your roof comes off.
Yeah,
right.
Something
exactly.
like that.
And if you don't have a basement, you're taught to go to the furthest part of the house where you're away from windows and anything that's accessible.
Correct.
And
exactly.
Because I can remember in Michigan, we actually have one storm.
Oh.
I was watching cartoons 1 minute, 15 minutes later, it was pitch green.
Oh,
the top of you want to know how close it missed my house? The top of the tree got ripped right off the tree.
Oh my God.
Landed right in the front of my front door.
So you might have been you were in Hurricane Valley a little bit then.
Yeah, well, we get not hurricane, but the tornadoes. I mean, you got to remember Michigan.
Very rare does New Jersey get tornadoes. Now, very rare do we get them, but I remember when we had the earthquake as well as, with the hurricane and everything, because it would be during that time that the hurricane came, the Jersey Shore was basically evacuated out. So basically my relatives had to come back
Yeah.
Where they were living early because they wanted to get out. And believe me, the traffic. Let me tell you something. When there is a hurricane at the Jersey Shore, the traffic is horrendous. It is like bumper to bumper, back up, whatever.
Yeah,
But,
it's the same thing with us over in the west coast because we might have the earthquakes.
Right. You also
some of them are pretty big. None of them have been the 10.0 that did hit Tokyo once.
That was only once.
That was once, and that was the big one.
That was the big one a couple of years ago.
Yes.
That I remember. Oh man, that.
Yeah, I'm just remembering that's the same coast as us, kind of.
Yeah. Well, let me. Now you, Richard,
we get those, but we get the earthquakes. Most of the time, it's not. It's not on land. It's under the water that the earthquake's happening, making one big thing.
Geysers.
We get tsunamis here.
That's why when
we get tsunamis. Big huge water wave, but 5 stories tall or higher.
Because now as an agent, this is why I'm going to compact this. This is what I told my client. Make sure you know when you're traveling somewhere.
Yes.
Make sure you understand the time of year you're going.
Yes.
Understand what the weather conditions are going to be at that time of year. Make sure you're prepared, packed everything that you need, because you don't know when things are going to happen.
And that's why they have
the advantage of having someone that is basically it's their job to look up the information on that and figure it out for you. You know by what time you're asking to go, what to expect for your weather pattern.
Correct.
Right. Well, and because the only thing is, and a good agent's going to tell you that, but a good agent's also going to tell you that we can't predict the weather. We don't know what it is. I expected them to have a good afternoon when they left, but then she said they got out to sea and that the sea was rough that first day.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you did tell her, so you tried to warn her, kind of. Hopefully.
And she was, for the most part, they were prepared. She did realize that she needs to bring like Bluetooth speakers and that, and some other things that she realized. And even an agent can't tell you all that. I mean, that's stuff that you're going to have to realize whether you want it or not.
So, did they go through a Disney? Was that a Disney?
No, we actually went through. I can tell you that they went through Carnival. I can't divulge too much information, but I actually booked my first trip to Carnival, so it was
that's fine. It just you have to know what different remedies that different kind of like Disney. I know they have green apples.
Yeah.
Not many people know this, but green apples has more of a dose and is stronger of a dose than Dramamine. Overseas.
She actually brought up an interesting point, Richard, and I didn't think about it.
It's natural.
Like if you need Band-Aids, they actually charge you for some of that stuff. So you might want to think about bringing small Band-Aids with you.
Yeah.
Not that you need them, but you never know.
Or
are you allowed to take a first aid kit on a boat?
Now, another thought, Dave. Okay.
Are you allowed to take your own first aid
hold on.
kit
Let Richard finish. Hold your question, Mike, if you can, and go ahead, Richard.
Anything that that works for you. So try to go onto a boat beforehand. Figure out what works best for your seasickness. Bring it with you onto the ship and just tell them that you already have something like that. They allow that to be if it is in your luggage.
Right. Like Dramamine and
now Dramamine, that would be the wrist bracelets, maybe a patch. Bring it with you. I'm saying this because it is, I would say, 50% cheaper on land than it is on the sea.
Oh yeah, and it is.
It is. They bump up the price
You've
because
been
you
on
need
cruises.
to have it.
I've been on one cruise, and we can both confirm that the prices on a ship, if when you're going to buy things,
Yes.
if it's something you think
They're
you're going to
spiked.
need and you can bring on board, bring it with you so you don't have to worry about it later down the road.
By the way, Dave, it was the seasickness for that one trip was bad enough. I remember slowly walking over to the shopping. Yes, the shopping was open. None of the people were stocking the shelves, but they were behind the counter. They were strapped into some kind of device that allowed them to stay in one spot. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
So they were
like
going into the ship.
I said, I was sitting on the main deck that goes. This main deck is the one that goes all the way from the 3/4 of just short of the full front of the ship to all the way to the back, which covers the pool, the eating area, the casino, and like a lounge and some of the lounges. And I could actually sit there and see the waves coming up pretty close. And the ship
Our
was
waves
but
was
again,
bigger than the ship.
I was probably the only one that was walking nearly normal. And like Mike said, like you said, I'm lucky if I saw 10 people walking around during the day Sunday.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yep.
Let me ask you this question, David. 2 questions. Number 1, can you take a first aid kit with you on board
Yes.
a ship?
Yes.
Yes.
Number 2. Now, mind you,
because you never know when you might cut your finger on that.
right.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you'll want that because they charge you for as much it is, they do charge you for the Band-Aids.
Yes.
And you're better off if you can carry the small packages of Band-Aids in that or a small first aid kit. Then do it because it'll save you money in the long run on that.
Yes.
My second question is probably one of the most craziest questions you've heard. Now, during a storm, when it's rocking back and forth and people are, have you ever seen anybody slide down the hallway? And I mean slide down the hallway, if you know what I mean.
No. They try to keep the carpet so they have something on the carpets that make it so they're not slicky.
What I mean is that you're standing up and then the next thing you know, you're on your butt and then zooming down the
the floors are too solid.
I'm sorry.
You know where I'm going with this, right? Like sliding down the stairs.
I don't. Okay, put it this way, Mike.
Not unless they're being stupid.
Every single ship has its own self-righting device that is a weighted instrument at the bottom of the ship.
Okay.
Those make it so it will not go back and forth in normal weather or most storms.
Okay.
Not all storms.
Now, there are some storms that push it just enough to make you walk back and forth, but not where you're going sliding across the floor. Because
you're not going to go sliding across the floor in any storm.
A lot of when you're indoors, when you're in the inner doors of the
Now, the only reason, Dave, and you can probably vouch for this, Dave, the only reason that you would slide across the floor is if there's something wrong with your ship and it's sideways.
Right.
Yes.
What I'm saying is
that'd be the only reason.
Here's the reason why that won't happen, Mike. Because most of your decks are weatherproof and slip-proof, and it's not the ship. It may rock a little bit, and you can feel the rocking. And if the waves in the ocean is rough enough, you'll feel it rocking a little bit, but not bad.
Okay.
I mean, and you can attest to this, right or wrong, Richard.
Well,
you'll feel the ship rocking, and this is
a little bit. If it's a bad rock,
you'll feel it a little bit. But most of the indoors are carpeted. Most of the indoors are carpeted.
Because the reason why I bring this up is that, with my balance at times, when I'm off balance sometimes, I will end up on my butt and start to zoom. So I'm like, am I going to need, some kind of, thing to like stop me from sliding into a door or something? You know what I mean?
Well,
I
you'll
know
be,
what I'm like. Yeah.
like Mike said to me already, you're going to use the ACV
Well,
anyway.
Right.
So
For
you
the most part.
would put your seatbelt on. That thing's
Whatever,
heavier than you are.
Yeah. Because,
That's true. That's true.
because I will tell you this: if the waves
Yeah.
are big enough, it can cause people to walk from side
Sideways.
to side.
That's
Yeah.
what
If
I'm
it's
saying.
bad enough,
And
and it was bad enough at one point
A
in the
good
trip
way to
of
explain
mine
it.
that you could feel it where you could
Yeah.
feel like some of the waves would push the ship up, and you can feel.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you can
And,
feel.
That's what I'm
And I
saying.
was.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of me feeling bad. It was because the ship got
Right.
pushed up far enough to make me walk
Yeah.
a little bit
Okay.
at an angle.
A good way to explain it is if the people are walking around and they're
Yeah.
not used to it, it looks like a lot of people are drunk and they're walking sideways.
That's about it.
That would be me.
Exactly.
But you
But,
wouldn't be the
you
only
know.
person doing it. I was
True.
doing it. I don't get sick, but I was
You
doing
get
it.
sick. No.
True.
Listen,
I didn't get
I've got
sick.
sea legs. You got to remember, I spent 7 years in the Navy, so I've got sea legs.
Right.
That's why I was, for the most part, I was walking. You know, it was funny to watch everybody else going, "Oh my goodness, where you're all sea legs at?" But I also understood it was the wave, because even with me, you could it would, some of the waves made the ship turn just enough to where I could feel myself.
Right.
I would have to brace
people do
myself.
this, Mike.
Where I had to brace myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it would push you far enough to where you're walking at an angle.
It lasts for such a short amount of time. I would probably say for a lot of things, just wait it out. Take your time walking to where you need to go.
Okay.
And that
Yeah,
movie
'cause it
will
won't
probably
last
stop in
long.
like 2 minutes,
Yeah,
and then you just.
I think ours lasted through the afternoon. Now it kept raining.
It can be lengthy, but they would intercom you
by late evening for us.
Yeah,
and it was just as the cruise was normal.
Now let me ask you this question: if the ship is moving like this, do the elevators still work? Let's start there.
Now what?
Do the elevator? All right. If the ship is going like this, with like waves and things,
elevators
do the elevators still work? Okay, good.
Oh yes, elevators still work. At least with Disney, they use an electric motor system that does not use the pulleys.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I think
I
think that may be a standard, because I think most elevators for the ships are like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
because,
I noticed
for me,
also on some of the ships, you would have to figure out which ones they have it, because I know some elevators work at time. When I was on that one Disney cruise, some elevators worked, some didn't. I did not mind walking down the stairs for that one area, so I did.
Right.
But
someone like me,
someone like you would just basically go to you would know by memory where that elevator is.
Oh, believe me, once I know my way around, place, I have it memorized. I mean, memorized in my brain.
All right. Now let's get to the fun stuff. Talk about travel. What's the biggest thing you want to make sure you prepare for?
Do you want to go first with your news article?
Oh, I wasn't even talking the news article.
Oh, shoot.
I'm going to do one thing.
Not even that fun.
One more thing before we do that. What's the biggest thing you want to make sure you prepare for, whether you're going on a cruise, going to Disney, or where you're traveling something? That's to make sure you got your good old spending money for your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
money. Mm-hmm.
We're going to tease. Now it's time to do the little bit of tease, and then we'll move on.
Oh boy, what did you buy?
I'm not opening them up tonight, but I do got a couple of pins. But I will tell you this: I don't know which one it is, but
it's a set, isn't it?
It is. It's the cars.
It's the set. It's the cars.
Ooh.
Pizza truck.
I got 2 of them. So,
some of those might be fun.
They are.
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think there's like 6 in the set. So, but I'm not opening them tonight. I'm going to open them on
there. Did you do pin trading?
No, I did not. No, we were just
That's
enjoying
something
it.
I'm going to have to teach both of you how to do.
Some more pins. Now, like I told you, on Saturday night, we're going to it's not going to be, it's kind of going to be, we'll talk about Disney news if there's any. We'll do that,
Yeah.
but it's kind of going to be a little bit of an off chat because while we are working, I'm going to put me together some Lego.
Ooh,
nice.
nice. You went to the Lego store tonight. Nice.
So on Saturday night, I may be talking like this with a table working on some Lego.
I didn't know that you like Legos, Dave.
I love Legos.
Really?
I blame Chris. Dad builds. They were all doing it now, so
yeah. It's either Legos or put down a puzzle. So
let me see if I want to start building Lego stuff here.
Sure.
I just will start bringing out my Lincoln logs.
Oh my Lord.
You know what? Hey, you know what? We can start doing Saturday night build stuff because if I like it,
why not?
I'm probably going to go on Shop Disney and try to order some more.
I need to find some. Oh, maybe I can do that. What was that jewel thing called that you make?
Diamond painting.
Yes,
diamond painting.
Oh my gosh!
Hey,
that takes so long.
You wanted to talk about making the Saturday nights interesting on the cafe chat. Now, this is kind of going towards the Disney Saturday shows.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to give you a taste of what's coming for Saturday. Actually, we may start doing some of those type of shows. So if you guys got things you want to paint or build,
that
would make an interesting cafe chat show while we're sitting here talking news.
Yep. And what we could do also, Dave, is the easiest and cheapest thing to do is to get a adult coloring book and just start coloring away on stream.
I've seen them. Yeah.
Hey,
just do it.
It's always interesting.
I know Mike has the color pencils and pens.
I do have a lot of my Japanese pens behind me.
Yes, the color ones.
Which I can show right now. Hold on. Since Japan is one of my favorite pavilions. Hold on a second. Let me get these out of my cup.
Don't be surprised if I'm not down in the park in a couple of weeks, guys, and we're not doing the show, and I'm doing a stream.
Yeah. These are
going to tell you that
my Japanese pens.
Well,
believe it or not, one of them is Disney.
And it'll probably, and I hate to say it, nice, Mike. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those pens are really nice.
I'm going to tell you the first park I'll probably go back to will probably be the Magic Kingdom or Epcot. Because I do want to, I'll probably miss the Festival of Arts.
Yeah.
By the time I actually get down there, I may have to wait till the Flower and Garden.
Dave. Were you able to see the charade today? Because isn't she down there?
She never got a hold of me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I never did get a hold of her. So
I was just curious.
I meant to tell her.
Remember, you still have that. You were going with me to that after party too, at one time.
That's right.
Please remind me so I can work ahead of things to make sure my schedule is clear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember, you still had that.
I will tell you this. I think I got another interested client, and believe it or not, it's the one that picked up my dad after he passed. It was one of the guys that. And here's the funny thing about this: we went to the funeral home on Friday to talk to him about everything that we needed to do and what the arrangements was, what we were going to do. And one of the guys, he actually was asking about my card magnets, and I actually was able to give him a business card. So I'm hoping maybe I reeled in it.
Reeled in the person.
There you go.
Create an income. You don't have to work, Dave. Just work for yourself.
That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working on. So anyway, okay. Do you want to bring up the first one, or you want to go first, Richard?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do that one. Let me
tell you what, we'll do the first article, then I'm gonna play my commercial, and then we'll go back to the rest.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're ready.
All right.
Here we go. When it decides to join us. There we go.
Yeah.
right. So what do we got? What do we got here?
We got some new concept art shared, and then puppeteer auditions posted for the Little Mermaid show coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Hallelujah.
They're changing that up finally.
Yep.
Yes. I'm actually, from the concept art I have seen, I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I do know of one of my YouTube friends that I've known for a long time is one of the people that auditioned for this personally, and he already got into it. So he will be one of the
Wonderful. That's great.
And I might be able to do an interview or have him do an interview.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, mind you, I love puppets. And,
yes.
When I saw this, I thought, what an interesting way to do this. Now, is this show going to be like the Nemo show over in Animal Kingdom with puppets, where you basically see the puppeteers? And my other question is this: now? I know that there are going to be certain scenes where one of the characters is, bigger, aka the Ursula, when she gets the trident. But I'm kind of wondering how they're going to navigate the certain scenes within the show, like her transformation from mermaid to human, Ursula as a transformation from her into Vanessa, and just like little things like that. But overall, I think that this is going to be a great show. I love puppets.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be really good. I really do. I am really hoping good things. Now
it was more than just a photo of concept art.
I like it. I really like it.
The cool thing is, it's going to be like 4 stages into one, and they're all going to move independently. So it's going to be a huge stage.
So to me, this looks like, now coming from the New York City, the theater stuff that I know, that almost looks like the Circle and the Square theater in a way, because
I heard it's going to be transitioning from because they're still going to have the 2 to 3 shows they have of Beauty and the Beast. Okay. But they're also going to have earlier showings and this showing intertwined with that.
I like that. I like that idea.
And it's going to be at that stadium. So it's going to be it's the stage in well, I thought it was. Is this said it was in Hollywood Studios? So it's over right next to
Star Tours. The Star Wars area, because I know it, because it's right next to one.
It's not that one. It's the one that has Beauty and the Beast. So it's the opposite direction. It's over by the what is that called? There's 2 stages over there.
Right, there's the Beauty and the Beast theater, which I know very well.
Yeah, and that's the one that's going to be in, if I remember correctly.
I thought that. Now, when I first read this, I thought it was going to be where the Voyage of the Little Mermaid was. That's where I thought it was going to be.
There was a different show?
Yeah, it was a different show because I remember seeing it and I loved it.
I don't remember seeing a show like that.
Anyways, so
it's okay. It's okay.
All right.
So was it by Little Mermaid area?
I like that idea.
And
can we get some Little Mermaid merch, please? Thank you very much.
No, that might be nice too.
Little Mermaid merch.
They have Little Mermaid merch.
They do have.
They have their own shopping area.
Yeah, but not all the characters.
They don't need all the characters.
Picky.
They don't have. You know how you do this, Richard? Like this.
Oh, thank you. Now we don't even need to talk. I don't know who the person was.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, hey, Mike.
Now
You
you're
know,
down there.
listen, you know what? And everybody, you know what? Everybody likes what they like.
I
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
But-
believe it or not, though, they do have a lot of the characters out for a Little Mermaid, Mike.
Yes.
I mean, they really do.
But
Think about it. They got Sebastian. They got Ariel.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
They
I
got
mean, they got
Flounder.
Ursula. They got a good, decent amount of selection for the.
I've even seen
Scuttle.
plushes of Hedgeham and Gretchen before.
Yeah.
Flexum, Jetsam. I haven't seen plushes of those.
Yeah.
I've not. Not at all.
They're out there. Those two, Fletcham and Jetsam. I've seen
them.
plushes.
Anyway.
Where?
You might find it on eBay. It was quite a while ago. It was
See?
last year they came out, and I think they like sold out pretty quick.
Yes, and I was so mad because I really wanted them, and I'm like, crap.
I'm saying last year because I think they came out when the new movie came out. So
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
All right. Well, we're going to do a
I'll
couple
need to
of things
find
here.
those guys for you then.
Mhm.
Anyways, before we move on to the next one, I am going to do a couple of things. One, I'm putting the link in there that anybody that catches anybody that catches this, if you love Disney, if you love this, we will be talking about the shows on this channel and this channel as well a little bit. Make sure you guys catch Sunday night. I will be on the Triple C's.
Yep.
Nice.
So you don't want to miss it. It will be fun. Don't know what they'll ask, but looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But
that is going to be a really good show. Now, Richard, I just looked on eBay for them. I found them. I put the price.
Oh yeah, I expect so. They sold out real quick.
$279.99 for both.
Yeah,
$279.99 for both. Yeah.
well, we expect that.
all right.
I'm waiting for it to come down.
Yeah.
Now let's go. We'll be back 2 and 2, guys. I'm going to let my commercial play, and so if you guys need a drink,
of course.
Hey, I got to push out my hey, got to remember, it's this business that supports the channels.
Yes.
I know.
Please push out your channel.
Hi, my name is David, and I am the travel agent and owner of the Cantrell Country Travelway. I am here to help you with your travel needs, from beautiful sights across our great country to beautiful voyages of vast oceans. While on a cruise or learning about and seeing historical cultural cities across Europe, whatever your needs, come talk to me. I am a very friendly and honest person, will help you with your travel wants and desires. So like our slogan says, let the Cantrell Country Travelway help you find that magical vacation.
All right.
And we're back.
Hello, everyone.
And I put the link,
Hi, guys.
for anybody that catches the replay and all that. I put all the links into my thing, except my Instagram, but I don't have an Instagram. If you guys want to see anything on Instagram, go over to Space Mountain Dave Cantrell, and you'll You'll find the Instagram there too.
Yep.
So, and if you got any questions, please feel free to ask. Welcome into all those that are watching. Thank you all for watching. If you're
right,
you're all just important as much as Ninja watching, because like I said, I know. Thank you, Mary. I know it's always a pleasure to have you, Mary.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you guys can be here. Right. Now let's bring up, I think that because this one's the biggest topic of us all, and we know how we all feel about it. It's the topic we're about to go to. We all know it's I mean, let's face it. It's
coming.
Let me make sure.
Is it the right
I can't
one?
wait.
Oh yeah, Tiana. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hold
I
on.
can't wait.
You know, when that
I'm
happens,
really...
they're gonna have more of a presence in Mardi Gras.
And also, too, guys, I just found some news today as well. Speaking of that, they were doing log testing as well with the ride. They were actually testing out the log with the water.
Yep,
which
they
is
were.
Great.
And I see
Okay.
that.
Yes. It obviously it is the opening season of thing, and I don't know if you guys saw the news article or saw the videos,
I did.
but there are videos on YouTube that actually showed the animatronic of Tiana.
Yes.
I will admit it. In fact, there it is. There you can see it right there. Obviously, we know it's opening during the summer of 2024.
Yep.
During the summer, and then, which is kind of crazy because they're saying it'll open up later in Disneyland, California. It's not opening up until later in the season.
Yes.
So.
Because when I saw the video of it, I was very impressed with it.
What do you guys think of the animatronic for her?
It looks cute. The video that was out there, it's very realistic. Her eyes blink. Everything looks pretty good. I want to see more, not so much of Tiana herself. I hope that they put in Mama
Odie, and of course Lewis.
Maybe
I want Lewis. Big saxophone.
Here's my thing. Lewis with the trumpet would be cool, but what if they did not put Lewis in, but he was a greetable character right at the exit?
Oh, I could deal with that too.
I would be with that all the time greeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually could.
They already do that for Disneyland when Haunted Mansion transitioned over to Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
Right.
Halloween time. And they always have the greetable character right at the very end, and it's perfect position. It's right forward.
Oh, I'm in.
Right.
Now.
Yep.
Now, when I've been on streams, and when you take the railroad you can see that Lewis is represented in one of the murals on the building. Which it looks amazing, by the way. But
it does look amazing.
Here's the interesting thing about this. Now, when this ride was announced, they said that the show that the ride's going to be based on is going to be on the Disney Plus. Now, mind you, the ride is coming. The show has not been announced when it's going to come out. So
we don't know. They might have decided to keep it more of a mystery, which just
now. Here's my question with this: have they scrapped the show to do the movie, which is the sequel, or are they just waiting for everything to be fine with the show?
I think they probably scrapped the show. I think
that's what I thought.
They scrapped the show and made it into a movie,
That's what I'm thinking they're going to do with that.
And what I'm thinking of, this
Mm-hmm.
ride
Mm-hmm.
is going to be, when it opens Disneyland and Disney World, I think it might be a little bit different in both. And I think that is because this ride, I hope, for the one in Disney World is going to be based upon Tiana's Adventure number 2 or Princess and the Frog number 2.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
And I'm thinking, and I think the one in Disneyland is going to be the original one that's going to be devoted to the story of the original movie.
Yeah.
Princess and the Frog.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with it because.
And they're going to have the ride out before the movie, I think. So that's going to be interesting. You might be able to see like a preview of the movie by going on to the ride.
I mean, the crazy thing.
Way to do it.
Yeah,
the crazy thing
would be interesting.
There's a lot of interesting movies coming out, or a lot of teaser trailers that have come out over the last several months over a lot of movies like Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah.
Inside Out 2 and
Moana 2. And that one was kind of bizarre. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to see Inside Out 2. They were just kind of.
I do.
I want to see it.
I watched the teaser trailer on that. That was kind of weird.
Show it to me right now.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Also, they are at the end of this month. There's going to be the first preview for the new Toy Story coming out.
Whoa. Say that again.
At the either the end of this month or early next month, maybe.
Yes.
They will have the preview for the new Toy Story movie coming out.
Yep.
Number 5.
Yep. Number 5.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
We know what's coming.
My favorite characters are in it. I'm fine.
Guys, all I'm going to say is I like the idea, but I'm telling you, they better be careful because if this movie is a flop, you're going to kill the whole series.
That's true, but
think about it. Number 4 didn't get the best reviews.
That's true. Well, for Toy Story, I agree with Toy Story. Now for the other one, which is Princess and the Frog or Tiana's Big Day, probably, or something like that, will be the second.
The only thing but
I think it's going to be just kind of like what they did with Pirates of the Caribbean. Remember, that was a ride before any of the movies came out with Johnny Depp.
Correct.
By far.
Correct.
I'm looking for that. There's the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the Pirates of the Caribbean that's going to be coming out because
there's a new one of those coming out too.
I have a feeling you're going to see Johnny Depp back in his role.
They haven't specified if they have not specified if Jack Sparrow is coming back in that movie.
Now here's
it's a good bet though because he was the one that was.
I know. They're keeping their mouth shut about that one. We don't know if they hired them back.
There's been a lot of good speculation that it has.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this. Moana is going to have a very interesting time because Wicked's coming out the same day, my birthday. And I want to honestly, because you have Moana 2 going up against Wicked. Now, I'm a big Wicked fan. I love the Broadway show. I love the music. I know the score by heart. It's going to be a very close.
Here's my thing. Here's my problem with that.
Now, Mike. Okay, Mike. I agree with Mike to a point on that point. If it is on Jersey and New York.
Oh yeah, it is.
90% more people in the U.S. do not watch Wicked. I'm sorry.
Correct. I understand that.
And here's the reason why. Remind me.
But
I've only seen the trailer.
That's why we don't get the Broadway.
I saw a little bit of the teaser trailer.
That trailer was phenomenal. I mean, I was like this. I was
remind me of this.
Whoa.
If I'm remembering correct, isn't Wicked the one where it's the Wicked Witch of the East, Witch of the Witch over? here's my problem with that.
Yes.
You're taking a classic story, turning it upside down. Don't like it. So long. I agree.
Now,
Here's the
Dave,
thing. I understand.
No, Dave, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'm going to tell
I'm
you
not
what it's
saying
about
against
first.
anything about
I know.
anybody that wants to watch it.
I know.
But I agree.
I know.
Now
But-
I'm agreeing with Richard. I agree because think about it.
It's
Most of
gonna be
the
close.
Americans right now
Here's my
grew
thing.
up
Not
on the
very many
original Wizard
people
of Oz.
have watched Wicked, or was a lot of people remember Wizard of Oz. Not very many have seen Wicked. Yes, it does go
This
on
is
tour,
about. Okay.
but
This whole thing is
They
about.
turn it upside down. They make the wizard look evil. They make the wizard look evil.
No. It's
here's
based on
my
a
thing,
book.
though, Dave.
On the trailer I've seen,
Wasn't
it
there
makes
a
the wizard
rumor?
look evil.
Dave, wasn't there a rumor that there was going to be a Villain's Land coming to Magic Kingdom sometime?
Correct.
Why wouldn't they put a Broadway in there?
Well, we're talking
Wicked.
something that ain't even Disney, though. We're talking Wicked.
No, Wicked is Disney. Wicked is already
okay.
Disney.
Here's the thing with Wicked, okay? This is basically the story of Glinda and the Wicked Witch of the West before Dorothy shows up.
They're
And
meant,
there
but here's
are Wizard
the
of
thing.
Oz
I know though.
components
No,
in it.
but it deals with the Oz. So that, and this is what I'm saying. I'm not.
And if you remember, Dave, wait. Oz the Great and Powerful was a Disney film. So
Wizard of Oz was not.
I
Wizard
know.
of Oz
It was
There
was
was
not
only there was a
Disney
few that
film.
were not. The original
I
one
know.
was not, but the
Yeah.
second
It
one
was the
was.
return. Dorothy
The
Returns to Oz
last two
was
were.
not a Disney
Yes,
film.
it was, Dave.
Yes,
Look
it was.
up.
Yes, look
The
it up.
second
on
one
YouTube.
was
It's
Let's
there.
go back
Yeah.
here. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me straighten this out. Are we talking
Sure.
the animated one? Because there was an animated one, and then
That was
there
a
was
TV
an
show.
updated movie one.
Oh,
One of them was
Return
not.
to so many
Oz.
different versions.
Return to Oz.
That's what I'm saying.
In the
I had
80s
to. I had
Disney.
to go back and see which one was not. I'd have to go back and see which one was.
Return to Oz was Disney as well as
Hold on,
Oz
but
the Great and
Mike.
Powerful.
Mike,
Both of them were.
no, they
Both of them
weren't.
were.
No, one was not. One was another done by someone else.
Let me look this up. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look it up. I'm not kidding.
I agree. This
I'm
is
looking this up.
curiosity because I'm not.
Sorry for
I'm
our
not-
technical difficulties here, people.
We're not talking. No, we just want to make sure we're getting the facts right because I'm not trying to argue, but I'm pretty sure
No,
one
me
of them
neither.
was-
Okay.
I just want to make sure we're getting the right facts because I just
Oz
know.
the Great
I'm just
and
saying I
Powerful.
agree with Richard that because so many people love the original Wizard of
Okay.
Oz.
Okay. Oz the Great and Powerful. If you look at the cover, up at the top, it says Disney right on it. That was for that one. That was in 2013. Now, I am going to look up Return to Oz, which was in the 1980s. And that was supposedly the sequel. So let me look it up. Return
I'm
to
looking
Oz,
that one up right now.
1985. And that was also Walt Disney Pictures. So they both were Disney.
Hold on, I'm
I
checking.
just
I'm
looked them
not
up.
sure on that one. 'Cause
Look
I'm-
them up. If you go to the IMDb.com, you put both movies in, boom, Disney is on both. And I've seen both. And I have to say, when I saw Oz the Great and
Okay.
Powerful, I thought,
Well, see, now there you go. I stand corrected. It was not. It was. Okay, so I
Mhm.
agree with you. The 1985. But here's my problem though.
All right.
Again, you still, if the movie is anything like the trailer I've seen, it makes the wizard look bad. And for someone that grew up on the classics, and you got to remember, I got 10 years on you guys.
I know.
And the generation I grew up, we watched those.
Mhm.
So I agree.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
saying it's
with
bad or
I
good.
agree
I'm
to a
not saying,
point, Dave,
I'm not-
but there
Okay,
has
the point is
been...
the point is, I agree with you that I think you're going to have a lot of Americans that may not like it because of that or for whatever reason. But then you are going to have Americans like Mike or people that like Mike that do like it. And I mean,
Well,
and
you
there's
got to
nothing wrong
remember,
with it.
Dave. Look at
It's still
the
running on
office.
Broadway right now.
I'm
Look
not
at the
saying it's
box.
wrong. Now, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying.
Look
that,
at the
you know,
box.
I know I'm not arguing either.
Look at the box office for how well Wicked has done in the Broadway.
But
Can I say something on that?
Now, be careful with this
still running
too.
after 20
Now,
years.
be careful with this too, because now I'm talking Hollywood. I'm not just talking this movie. I'm talking with this. You have had some Broadway shows that have been transferred to movies that have done very well, but you have also had Broadway shows that gone. You have had Broadway shows that have gone to film and have gone and it killed it. So there's no telling. You can't really base it off of Broadway.
Yeah, you can't, but
you can.
Here's the
but
thing,
it's not
Dave.
going to tell you really on how it's going to do in the theaters.
Yeah.
Can I say this, Dave?
Because it's a whole two. I mean, there really is a different brand between going to a theater than going to a movie theater.
Yes,
there is.
Because theater takes longer.
I saw the producers, which was a Broadway show as well as a movie before the musical came out. I saw the musical version. I fell in love with it. It was fantastic. Okay. I've seen that one.
I've never seen the Broadway show, so I'm not arguing. I'm not saying that was bad. I'm just saying. And I'm not arguing you guys that you guys like it. You know, I'm glad you guys like it. I'm just saying I'm just saying from what I've seen of it, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch it because
here's the thing, though. We have wanted this movie for years. I mean, the minute the show came out and was a hit, everybody was like, when are we going to get the movie? We now
here's my question.
Let me ask you this.
Do we know if the preview for The Wicked, do we know if it is basically the Broadway show as a movie, or is it going to be cast members doing The Wicked as
Here's the deal. Ariana Grande is playing Glinda. Cynthia Erivo is doing the Elphaba. Okay, it basically, from what I can guess, it's going to be the Broadway show.
Now let me throw. Let me throw you another interesting fact too.
Sure.
And you guys cannot argue this. We know that the dark films that Disney has done in the last few years, they have been flop.
They flopped. They didn't do that well.
What
Unless
I'm saying
you count
with this is they got to be careful with it. That's all I'm saying. They have to be careful.
The fans are going bananas because we want to know
you could go with someone that have done really well with dark movies like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
These movies were dark, counting Moana.
And that's why I'm saying it may do well. Okay. It may do well. I'm just saying they have to be careful because what they think
I know, Dina is not going to be in it, although she could have a cameo in it somehow. Because between her and Kristen Chenoweth, because we all love them both. Because when I found out that Wicked was going to be a movie, I said, please let it be Kristen and Dina, please. But unfortunately, it's not, so I'm okay with it. But they have to be in there somehow. They have to be because they created these amazing roles.
All I'm just saying is they better make sure they got their A. They got to have all their T's crossed, not I's. Because all I'm saying is, you look at their last several dark movies.
Dave, you can't say Dave. You cannot say that, but you can say that for Disney itself. But you cannot say that for Marvel and for Star Wars.
Well, I'm just talking about the dark. I'm just talking about the dark movies that they're doing off of classic movies, as far as Disney.
Okay.
And they didn't do so well. I'm not saying they were total flops. They just didn't do as well as they were expecting it to do.
Let me ask you this question, Dave. Do you think that the Toy Story 3 was a dark movie? Because in a way it was.
Toy Story 3?
Yes. In a way it was.
No.
In a way.
No, not really. That was just that was a straight up thing.
Okay, Dave, wait.
What I want you to do
Dave,
after this
Bambi's a dark movie.
After this stream, I want you to watch the preview. Dave, after this stream, I want you to watch the Wicked, the musical, the movie trailer.
Yeah.
And tell me that is not a dark movie set. It's not.
It probably is.
It transitions from light to dark. It goes to both. And it is not Broadway. It is a movie.
With lots of the bear. Lots of the bear is Toy Story 3. Now, if you really want to go creepy, go to Toy Story 4. Both of them, well,
you cannot. Okay.
It's in the dark.
You look at it, you can't really count those as dark movies. I really can't.
Bambi?
I mean,
Bambi.
Yes, you got a villain. Yes, you got a villain. Yeah. And yes, you got an evil side. But when you're talking dark villain, it's look at the lighting. The lighting was not. You look at Pinocchio.
He means a different kind of dark, not as in here's a villain. He's talking about is a dark as in this is the set is you can barely see it. I'm talking about like Disney's Pinocchio, the latest one.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about. That was
dark. We had to turn up the light on our TV just to see what the movie looked like.
It's the tone. I guess what I'm trying to say is the tone of how well they bring out, how far they develop the characters as far as.
That's true. Now, I can, Dave.
I don't know what the right word is. I'm trying to think of the right word. It's the character development as to how far they go into the darkness.
Now, we already know there's going to be some great people that will be playing in it.
Yes.
Now, I can point at this franchise that Disney has done and say it will be closely somewhat like that, which would be Alice in Wonderland, Through the Seeing Glass, the new ones.
I've never seen them.
Oh, they are good. They have Johnny Depp. Come on.
I like Johnny Depp. I like him as Edward Scissorhands. Let me ask you a question.
He's the Mad Hatter. He is the Mad Hatter.
Wonderful.
I actually liked him as the Mad Hatter. I didn't like him as. Wonderful. I actually, out of all the Johnny Depp movies, Edward Scissorhands is the one I did not like.
I love it.
I didn't care for the director. And part of that is
I liked Johnny Depp.
I didn't care for the director that
weirdly
much.
The one I liked him the most in is two movies. You got to love him in Pirates of the Caribbean. Hallelujah.
I never watched
that role was meant for him.
Any of them.
The role was meant for him. He has the weird walk all down.
He's done a lot of movie roles that I like. I mean, he's actually I think he did I think he did a gangster movie. I'll have to go back and look. I thought he did a gangster type movie, which I thought he did.
And then also
capable. And now see, this goes where, and not everybody's going to agree. A lot of people like that Edward Scissorhands.
And then
that's what I like.
I'm not even going towards Edward Scissorhands.
I'm the opposite.
I'm going to go to. I thought that was an okay movie, but
can I say why I liked it?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Because he was different, like I'm different. See, I can relate to a lot of people who, with the character-wise, are like, look different, and all that stuff, because I can relate to it.
Weirdly,
that's the one.
Johnny Depp has a weird golden touch. He makes almost any movie that he's in almost good. Now, an example of that is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Actually, I was going to say one beat it, and Jeannie mentioned it. I'm going to say he beats one beyond that.
He does just as good as Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder's is better because it's the original.
Yeah.
And now, see,
but Johnny Depp does just as good.
Okay, make that two movies that again I'm against most. I'm probably on the outside ball on that one. I didn't care for the Charlie and the Wonka Factory, so that makes the second Johnny Depp. But now this is why I respect Johnny Depp. No, see, you guys know I'm a big history buff.
Yes,
particularly in the gangsters in the 1930s. To me, this is showing you the different persona that Johnny Depp can take.
Mhm.
He
Right.
made one heck of a John Dillinger. He almost personified John Dillinger.
Mhm.
And now see that, but that goes back to what Mike said. Johnny Depp has that personality you gotta love because he can adapt to whatever he's doing. Now, as far as the acting, I mean, I thought, okay, I will say that Johnny Depp as the acting did good in those movies. I just didn't particularly care for the overall setting of either of the two movies you guys mentioned. But I nothing against Johnny Depp. I thought he did good as his characters. It was just the overall setting for those two movies.
I understand. But it's just, when you have two movies from two different and big fan bases, it's going to be very interesting to see the box office numbers between the two.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see
what I was saying. That's what I was saying because, and of course it's during the Thanksgiving weekend.
And that's what I like about it because we can discuss it. We don't get angry over it. And
no. And I wasn't trying to say anything bad about it. I was just trying to explain that you got two big franchises coming with big movies, so it's going to be very interesting.
And you're going to have
what the numbers are going to be.
And you're going to have people on both sides. You're going to have people on both sides. Some are going to like it. Some are not going to like it.
Some are not, and that's okay.
In the next few years,
the reviews are in.
Yeah. In the next few years, when they finally do decide to make the villains land, I'm hoping they do still go along with it.
I agree.
I don't want them to make a Wicked because that is something that's been done before. I want them to make something on the lines of like, here, this is a villain musical.
I think there's one thing we can agree on.
It's going to be hard to do, though.
I do think I think this is one thing that we all can agree on.
Okay.
Whatever movies they do make, they need to get back to good story writing, good storytelling.
Yeah.
That's something I feel that has been lost. And you've said it plenty of time, Richard.
Yeah.
Before. I mean, they still don't have it. I mean, maybe they are coming along.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to tell you.
You know what, Dave? You know what?
I'm going to tell you, once you hit your 50s, you're going to find out you get a little bit more stubborn.
Since Wish the movie came out.
42 and I'm stubborn with stuff, okay?
You'll find out you'll get more stubborn.
Since Wish the movie did come out from Disney.
Right.
When is it coming on Disney Plus?
It's on, I don't know when it's going to come on Disney Plus, but I got this.
I'm waiting for that.
It's good enough because it's one of the Disney 100. They put so much effort into it. They still have the stuff.
They still have it. Going like hotcakes.
Yeah, but
merch is going well. Yeah,
even we've said it before, Richard. They're still underlining the fact that they still got to get people back to the basics. I'm not saying they can't do the stuff that they're trying to do now.
Can I say this?
I think they are starting to head back in the right direction.
I'm hoping they are,
and that's what I'm hoping. But I still think they've got a long to go. And here, I'm not just talking to movies. I'm talking parks too.
Yeah, this is what's starting to happen,
get back
though.
Into the parks, back to storytelling.
Now, if you notice in the last few years, not very many original ideas, except for maybe Wish, have came out.
Can I say something on this too? Because now with Encanto,
I guess, there's a few, I guess.
Inside Out, I mean Wish.
But
I'm going to say this though. I am noticing a lot of sequels coming out within the next couple of years as well. For example, Inside Out 2, Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and 4.
To do that.
Now here's the problem.
Coming out.
Where's the problem on it?
My thing is this. Okay. Now, for Toy Story, believe me, I love all of them for many different reasons. But when 4 came out, I was like, okay, where are they going to go with this? And I thought the movie was good, but 3 out of the first 3, my favorite one out of those 3 was 2, because it was new characters, it was a new storyline, as well as 3. because when you got to 4, I'm like, where are you trying to go with this? Now, I understood part of it because you had your villains in it. Believe me, you did, which they kind of creeped me out. But to me, 4 was a cliffhanger because we never got the full ending like 3 did. Now, for 5, what I want to see in 5 is a completely new storyline, have some of the main characters that we all know and love, add some new ones, but keep it like you did with the first 3, because 4 got lost.
So 4 got lost, and that was because of
it was
Ducky
lost.
and Bunny do not turn as popular. They helped.
Mm.
I'm sorry.
Exactly, and that's why it didn't do well.
That was their pull. Was Ducky and Bunny
characters that didn't work?
I'm going to add on something to that. Here's the problem with it too.
Sure.
When you keep adding on to storylines like that,
yeah.
And here's my thing about it too. They've done it to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've done it to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still running. Still going, by the way.
Toy Story. They're doing it to the Pirates of the Caribbean. This is where I'm saying they got to get back to basics because now they're trying to do a lot of movies to attach to them, and people are going to start getting sick of them.
Yes.
Mind you, I do not mind sequels, but when you have one that is kind of like, I was kind of worried when they had announced 5 because a lot of fans,
but
I was like, but
that's not
maybe
Disney.
They can redeem themselves in 5.
That's not Disney. That is Pixar.
I know that, but now the Frozen 3 and 4.
How far do you drag it? Because think about it. It's going to get into the realm of think about it. When they started doing, a lot of people are now talking that they should have never did this many Star Wars.
That's
a lot
true.
of people, there is a lot of people that are against it. Now, if you keep going with Toy Story like this, or even the Pirates of the Caribbean,
but
even Indiana Jones, people are starting getting to the point like you're ruining the series because you're carrying it out too far.
The cool thing with Indiana Jones,
there's a time that you end it and come up with fresh. I'm not saying you can't carry on the story saga,
right?
Or come up with different storylines.
I'm not trying to say anything bad about.
You're going to start running
the franchise because I love it, but what I'm worried about also with Frozen 3 and 4. Since they've both already been announced in some way, shape, or form. What my thing is going to be is with 3 and 4 is see, when Toy Story 3 came out, everybody was like, wow, especially the end part. And then when they announced 4, I said, okay, how are you going to do this? And then when I watched 4, because I watched
did you get to watch the after of 4? So basically, I believe it's called Lamp Life.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's supposed to kind of tie it up. That was supposed to be part of the movie.
Is that number 4 you're talking about, Richard?
Yeah. The last Toy Story. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to tie it up. That was supposed to create a more unified ending.
Yeah,
that's what they need to do. That's what they need to do with all.
They didn't think of it before.
My thing is, you can only do so many. You can only do so many before. Hey, let me give you a perfect example. Star Trek. They did. You had 64 original, and that's one of the longest. Think about it. How many?
I'm not saying anything about that.
I know.
I'm not jumping into being Trekkie. I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about jumping into being a Trekkie. I'm talking about different storylines.
Can I say something else on that, Dave?
Problem is, here's my feeling. When they got through with Star Trek Voyager, and some of those movies that they did with Star Trek: The Next Generation, I felt like they should have stopped, because now when they did the updated version with Chris Pine, and some of them, they went too far because they didn't come up.
Wait a minute.
Yes, they twisted it a little bit, but it was still very much like the original. In ways, it felt like it was going back to the original Star Trek movie, and that's sure that they should have.
There's one other franchise, Dave, that you forgot to mention as well, and that's Doctor Who. That's been going on for a long time, as far as I know. I've never watched it, but that's been kind of like,
but not in
point.
the U.S.
And which one, Richard?
That was British mostly for most of the early years. Yes, they did transition over to the U.S., but that was mostly British for the early years.
It was.
Yeah.
But now here's the difference with this, Mike. Now I'm the opposite on that, because they were able to put fresh storylines into it while transitioning.
Correct.
With Star Trek, they overlapped it, and they overlapped it, and overlapped it. And the timeline stayed the same. And when they finally got to the end with Star Trek Voyager and, the movies that they did with the Star Trek Next Generation.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
This is why I'm saying this, and I'm not telling anybody to become a Trekkie. I'm just telling you, when we made the updated version of Star Trek, even as someone that grew up on Star Trek, I think they went too far, because it reminded me of a lot of the first Star Trek movie, even though the storylines were a little bit different.
They do that on purpose, so you want to watch the older movies, and then if you're watching one of the older ones,
let me ask you
why don't you try to watch the rest of them?
The question is, where do you draw the line? Because eventually,
exactly, and then you just keep
now
going.
Even the Trekkies will tell you
you're in an infinite
tired
loop.
of it. Even the Trekkies will tell you they're tired of it. And you hear the same thing. And you even hear from it about the Star Wars. The only thing that they really care about right now is the Mandalorian. Think about it.
That's somewhat true, but Dave, you can't say that, because Ahsoka did have a pretty big hit when it was out.
Okay, let me go back to that. Ahsoka and the Mandalorian. I'll give you that. add Ahsoka onto that. But even you got to agree, outside of Ahsoka and the Mandalorian, everybody else at the rest of the storyline, they had to find new, fresh.
Let me ask you guys this question, honestly, okay? With the Frozen franchise the way that it is right now currently, okay, now, when I watched how they made Over the Frozen 2, I got to be honest with you, that showed me, because they were nervous about doing a sequel to this, because they had a gold mine, and then they're like, okay, what do we do with it? What I'm worried about is 3 and 4. Now, mind you, we know all the characters, we know both storylines from both movies. My question is, what is 3's storyline going to be, as well as 4? And
they did introduce.
Is it going to flow like the other two did?
Let me throw this question at you guys, because I know we all have our difference, but we agree on some things. We vary on different things, and that's that's the good thing I like about it. And the question is, where do you think how far do you think they ought to go with these? I mean, as far as with some of these series, and some of these series are good. Some of these series are good. I mean, do they keep going with it because it does rock, or do you think they cut it at a certain point before they kill it?
The problem is, all right,
Disney does not want to kill off any of its franchises.
Bingo. That's the problem.
The question. So that brings up the question: is how far do you think they should carry them?
I do not know myself, but I know that Disney just wants to create a big, huge, infinite loop.
I'm just curious. Here's the update question for you, then, Richard. How do you think they should change it? I mean, if you think they should carry with the series, do you think they should change the storyline to where it's a little different than what it was from the predecessor?
I don't know how they would change it to make things better, because they just kind of, how do you know how well a movie is going to happen before you make it?
Exactly.
That's true. That's
You
true.
got to make the movie for it to happen.
The one thing for me for a Disney film is two things. One, the trailer has to be good. Well, actually, three things. Number two has to be the storyline. And number three, big one for me, has to be the music. The music has to flow. Okay, for example, The Princess and the Frog, that moved. Beauty and the Beast, that moved. Okay, now some of these newer ones that I've been watching, aka Buzz Lightyear, the new one, with the Lightyear.
Yeah, you didn't have a good soundtrack. I just ignore that part. Sorry.
But there was, but I've only watched half of it, and there's one thing missing: no music.
There's
And
no
I'm thinking,
music.
okay, and that is like.
Here's my question. Yes, there's no music, but there was no music that he had with him. The only thing he said was
to infinity and beyond. I know that. But
here's my question.
Go ahead.
Does that mean if I'm hoping and when they make the Woody movie, live action ish, I could see it maybe be done.
So could I.
And base it upon the TV show that you got to watch in Toy Story.
Woody's Roundup.
Because here's the interesting question.
And it had a good soundtrack.
They did.
To a point.
Now, let me ask you, which brings up an interesting point. We know that they did a live action of Buzz Lightyear.
Yes.
And it was a flop. It was a complete flop.
It completely flopped, but I liked it enough. I watched the whole thing. I liked it enough.
I've only watched half of that.
Okay, let me ask you.
Literally
So
tonight.
what is the point that they stepped away from where it made it a flop? What? I mean, what did you actually think?
How do you make a $1 million movie to make profit?
I know what they were trying to do. They wanted to give you Buzz Lightyear's backstory. Now, mind you, when you do a backstory about a character, I honestly love when they do this. But okay, the best version of this is Toy Story 3 and Lotso's backstory, and the reason why he was the way he was. That flowed so good, it drew me in. And with a Lightyear, and honestly, I've only watched half of it, but watching that half, I'm like,
that doesn't work all the time.
The backstory, it's there, but it's not flowing
Weirdly,
the way that I'm used to.
They made a movie that was basically the same scenario as Toy Story 3 and Disney. Wendy and Pam.
I haven't seen it yet.
They did the same scenario. They made Captain Hook into a good guy.
And see, that's my problem with, and it's not just Disney.
What do you do to create a storyline that makes it so it's better, but people will like, without trying to change the timeline of what the original movie said?
When you
here's my opinion on this, and this is not just Disney. This is
It's everywhere.
Hollywood. This is all of Hollywood.
Everything.
You think about the golden age.
Yeah.
The storylines were fantastic.
Absolutely.
The acting that we have, you can't touch it. There were the actors of the golden age.
Yeah.
They were beyond it. And don't get me wrong, we've had some decent actors of this time, like
we have,
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
We're starting to lose some of the older actors that were good.
Yeah. We just lost one. Angela Lansbury.
I honestly feel that Hollywood needs to get back to that touch of good story writing. And I'm not saying it's easy. Easy.
Oh,
Here's
it's not
the
easy.
problem, in my opinion.
But I think we've lost our imagination.
They don't
Good
have
point.
Disney does not have the thinking person anymore.
And that's just not
The
Disney.
brains.
That's all. You look at regular Hollywood films.
I'm sorry.
Hollywood.
That's all.
Can
of
I
Hollywood.
say something on that one?
That's all of
Hollywood
Hollywood.
movies
That's
now
not
are
just Disney.
this.
That's not just Disney.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry, but a lot of
Encanto.
Hollywood films are this. I'm sorry. They're
Encanto
not
did
even any
well.
good.
Come on.
Not even close. Not even close.
Encanto was a good film.
Some of
I
It was
them.
a good film.
you
I
gotta-
like Encanto.
Not all.
Ooh.
But I
Do
will
you
say
think
this.
Encanto was big enough that they might be looking at it like number 2?
Which one?
I don't know.
Encanto. They left it open enough for that to happen.
I think it could be
They
because everybody
did.
loved-
They would just basically, they would have it pick up right when the movie ended.
that goes.
She
See,
got her house.
tricky.
Something
Because
happened.
this
I
is
think they did
reminding
leave it
me of
open
Frozen
for-
She
2
got
all
the
over
house.
again.
Something happens. Bruno's back, but
Right.
something happens. You know.
yeah,
Let me
and I
ask
agree
you
with.
this.
I agree with
Go
you,
ahead.
Richard. I agree with
Let
you
me
on that. They did leave
Let
it.
me ask. What about the Turning Red? Now that
Red?
was a great.
That
was a
could be
great
a new
film.
movie also.
I loved it.
But
I
I'm
that
not going to
loved
play on
Turning
that
Red.
one because I've
That
not
was
seen it.
great.
I have not.
It was
So-
great to a
It's a
point.
great movie. It was.
It was great to a point, except
Mhm.
it pushed a little too many buttons on
A little
talking
bit.
a little bit too much about things for that
Well, now
lady problems.
I'm going to go one step further, and this is
I get
stepping
the
outside
point.
of Disney.
Yeah,
This is going to step. This is
Okay,
going to
but-
outside.
but-
This is going outside of Disney.
But Richard
Think
has a
about
point
the
about
Kung Fu
something. Go
Panda
ahead.
sequel. Think about the Kung
I
Fu
know.
Panda. Each one got better. I'm
Oh,
worried
yeah.
about number 4.
Well,
I'm
that's
worried
Jack
about number 4.
Black. Come on.
What?
That's Jack
I know
Black.
you got.
Mm,
Well, see, that's just it. It was the actors and the characters that you made it.
It's the
I
actor
just think,
on him.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, if they didn't have all the people that they had voicing them,
Nope.
that whole series
work.
would have failed.
it wouldn't have worked.
He's
You had
he's
Jack
everywhere.
Black. You have had some of the biggest martial artists that were
Yeah.
voices for some of those
Really?
characters. Now the question is, are they going to use some of those voices in number 4? Because honestly, I think number 4 will either make it or break it. Because the first 3 were pretty good, and I thought it got better.
It's because they have the TV series that coincides with them
Bingo.
for that one.
You know what I've noticed with
Or at
now,
least for Kung Fu Panda.
here's something
But-
interesting.
and that's,
Speaking of that,
what was it?
Richard,
There was that one series you were mentioning that was Star Wars that wasn't it one that
Mandalorian.
Star Wars you were mentioning, Richard, that coincides somewhere?
Mandalorian.
I don't know if it
Mandalorian.
was Mandalorian or
Yeah.
if it was the
Ahsoka
Clone Wars.
What?
Or was it one of the Clone Wars, I think? I can't remember.
Oh, Clone Wars, but yeah.
There was one series that you were talking to me that
Mhm.
it answered some of the questions, and I don't remember if it was
Probably Clone Wars.
or
'cause
if
that
it was
one
the,
has been
or
running
was it the
along.
Rebel, or was it the other one, the Rebel something?
Rebels is good one. Here's the thing. I don't know of a bad TV series or movie that is Star Wars.
Mm. I don't watch them, so I'm not.
And that's the problem is
and-
that they, they're big.
Can I
gonna
say what I'm
They're big.
really afraid of? Okay. For me, I am literally afraid of this new ride, and I'm going to say why. We don't have a backstory. Well, I mean, we know what it's going to be about.
So what are
Sort
you
of.
talking about?
The Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Okay.
My thing is this, okay? Because the reason why I'm a little bit afraid of this is because I watched The Princess and the Frog literally was it yesterday. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
Loved it. But what I'm concerned about with this was that when Disney announced the show, which was only going to be named Tiana with the Disney Plus, I was like, great. Now we know what the ride's going to be about. Cricket. and the ride is opening up this summer. What I want to know is,
my thing.
Where is the show? Number one.
I think they're going to do it.
Are we going to get a movie instead?
I think we might be getting whatever it is after the ride opens. And this is a touchy subject, but
I like the element of surprise. Don't get me wrong.
I like the element of surprise, and Disney has not tried it this way before. They're tasting new grounds, and if this works, if it works really well, and it draws people in to ride the ride, because this is what happened after Tiana's.
You're right.
And I'm going to add on to further than that.
That would make Disney in itself have more income, because people will want to go towards that one ride that brings people in.
And I'm going to add on to that. Disney has hinted that show is on the back burners.
It is.
They knew it.
They haven't said directly, but I've seen enough articles that have put it on a hint. I think they're going to focus more on the ride in the movie. I'm not saying the show's going away, but
I know that.
I think it's on the back burner.
That's what they said about the Mary Poppins thing in Epcot, and that's been on the back burner for a while.
Oh, that's gone.
I know, and that's what I'm afraid of with the show, because I haven't heard a thing, and I'm like, and the ride's coming out. So now, mind you, I do like the element of surprise. I don't mind it, but as someone who loves Disney as much as we all do, it's like, can you give me a clue of what's to come?
Disney, you know what I mean? No. Because Disney has been known to leave us in the mystery,
right,
until the very last second, until it basically opens.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what a good example.
And you know what that does? That creates people to come to Disney World or Disneyland to try to see and take videos themselves. Basically, having it so Disney has free marketing of what the construction is for that area, whatever it is. May it be Star Wars, Tiana, whatever the new thing's going to be.
Yeah.
Tron. They didn't say anything.
Tron's over in Tomorrowland. I don't think you're going to have to worry about Tron on that side.
Right. But it's just.
But I agree with
Tronland. Could they make Tomorrowland into Tronland?
True.
Disney has always been good about pulling magic. Because think about it. There's still one section that has not fully opened in Epcot, and that's Communicore Hall.
Oh, and
they've given ideas of what they might put in there, but do we really know what's fully going to be in there?
No, we don't.
Dave, all I got to ask is right now, how is Tomorrowland the land of the future? Because it looks like it's not.
Listen, there's some things that need to be updated.
It's not.
Well, Tron is about the closest thing you got for it.
I don't know.
Right. But it's just, in my mind, I mean, I don't mind the surprise, but it's like, can you give us a hint? When they show the animation,
think about it though, Mike. If they did that, that would be taken. That makes now. I will go as far as, and you guys can can tell me whether I'm right or wrong. But to me, the one thing that does give Disney an edge to a point is that they are so good at keeping things in the dark.
I know that.
That's what makes the magic.
I know that
because everybody wants to guess and guess, but then when they release it, it's like wow, and it's either a flop or it succeeds.
And then that's what Disney does is they usually go off of those hits and flops and tries to implement the hits.
Right.
Usually a little bit too much, but that's fine in my opinion. It's people create the franchise.
Like Genie Plus. a big flop. They need to get rid of that thing.
Oh,
Period.
Amen.
No
Now-
comment.
Now,
No God, Genie Plus needs to
No
go
comment.
period.
I'm going to be honest with you, Dave. I agree with you on that 100%. But what I will say is that I cannot wait to see what this ride's going to look like. Now,
Yeah,
the
until
fact
we get
that they
more.
are giving us hints is.
I think we're all agreed to that. I think we're all
Kinda
looking to
good.
see what.
It's kind of good because now we know with that now when they announced that they were doing with the log testing, I said great, awesome, that's good, but I kind of want to see what's on the other side, as in like where at the, if you know what I mean.
Well,
Like kind of
you're gonna have to wait like the rest of us until
I
we
know.
can stand in the 3 and 4 hour line with a virtual
find
queue.
that out.
I know very soon, but
The
it's
only
just,
area to really find
Here's a question for you,
sure.
because this was asked in one of an article, and I forgot where I saw it.
Sure.
And I bet you it will. But do you think they're going to end up using a virtual queue for the?
Yes, I said yes.
I guarantee you they will.
To be honest,
we were actually talking about this last night with Richard and I, and I'm like, yes, because like every other new ride, it's going to be virtual queue and it's going to be a mess.
Yep.
Because it's still
I look for them. Here's what I look for it to happen. I look for them to take. Guardians has been around for a while.
Yeah.
It may stay in there for a little bit longer.
It could,
Yeah.
but
I'm thinking that one may come off when they add Tiana and still have Tron, and still have Tron,
just like they did with Rise of the Resistance.
Yep. Well, think about it.
The immersion on both is
think
great.
about
by
it.
the way.
Remy was on there. Then they brought on Rise of the Resistance. Remy stayed for a while, but then when Guardians opened up, Remy dropped.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it seems to me they're keeping 2 on the virtual queue at a time.
They don't want to overload the system.
Long even now. I mean, even for the Frozen ride, I still can't get on it, and I would love to get on that ride.
That's because it's so popular.
I know
That's a popular ride, though, and that's a
pop. That ain't a virtual queue issue. That ain't a virtual queue issue. That is a
queue. It's walk-in.
That is a walk-in issue there.
I'm surprised that they haven't put with the Frozen on the virtual queue at this point.
No, I'm getting to the point that way I've seen the virtual queue, it's more for when they build new rides that they're putting the virtual queue in.
And also
that's the advantage, Mike, of having let's say a after-hours event.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're allowed to go to the park when not as many people are there, and there's basically no lines.
Hallelujah.
That's the whole point of going to an after-hours event. That is with D23 or with DVC.
Speaking of D23, do you guys think there's going to be an announcement concerning Tiana? Because that's what I'm wondering too. Because I'm like, why would they? And
there could be, because there was for Muppets. So
I'm more. You know what? My Richard, are you going to D? Didn't you say you were going to D23?
I get to see some of the new stuff coming out.
I'm gonna bet you, and you got to let me know. My opinion is, if Josh D'Amaro and Chapek, or I mean Iger,
they're gonna be speakers at.
I think we're gonna hear more about. They promised they were going to put $60 billion over the next 10 years into the park. I'm curious to see, are they going to do it, and where all this money is going, and what kind of development as far as the land and
which old school animators going to be shown,
shows, fireworks shows,
right?
Oh yeah,
right.
Whatever the new things are coming in each land, so
it's going to be great.
It's going to be great. I can't really think of it. They'll probably, at this D23, I highly expect them to talk about the Dino Land.
They should at this point, because everybody wants to know when they're getting started.
speaking of D23, don't
Yeah.
they do it? The main one happens what, every 2 years, and then they do like a smaller one.
I thought it was
in
every
between?
year they did it.
So
Or
they do
Or do they
one
do it every year?
They do one every 2 years. They might do one every year, but I know it switches from coast to coast.
I thought the big
Right.
one. I thought like the big expo happens every 2 years, but then they do like a shorter one, like they did at Disney World. Didn't they
Mhm.
just do one this past November?
Yeah. They sometimes, it's not every other year that they do the big one. Now, this one I'm going to is going to be the biggest one that they've ever made.
Right, because they're going to use the
So
arena.
it's going to be huge.
It's going to be amazing.
It's big enough that it grew out of the convention center that it used to be in,
Yep.
and now it's in the stadium.
That's right.
Yeah, that I do.
Maybe
Now
at the
that I've
Honda
heard
Center
that.
on the island.
I mean, Corey.
Wait a minute, Richard.
And I get to
I
be
just
there.
thought of something. Seriously. The Honda Arena is where the Anaheim Ducks play. I'm wondering if there's going to be a Ducks announcement concerning either another Mighty Ducks movie or another Mighty Ducks show. I'm just saying,
movie.
look at the location. I mean, there you go. But
It might be interesting, yeah.
But here's what I'm wondering.
Mighty Ducks the Land. That's my prediction.
That's what I'm wondering, because that would be the only, you know,
I'm going really far out.
That might be pushing it a little bit. You gotta remember that franchise. They did a good job with that, and I like the way they walked out on the end of that, transitioning from the coach that they grew up with till they got to high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and immediately I don't know if you'll ever see that revived.
You might not see the movies. You might not see the movies revised, but it got put into a TV series that was about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
but it was based on the characters from the movie.
They had the characters from the movie in it, counting their head person is the same head person from the movies at the end.
Correct.
I don't remember his name. I don't remember their names at all.
I don't think it was Emilio Estevez, but I think it was the character that was there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Emilio Estevez, it was.
It did well. I liked this series enough. I personally think that series made money for Disney.
Actually, I think it was the Ducks we were talking about, that it was the one that actually coordinated the movies with the follow the timeline. I think it's the one we were talking about. Right?
That's how the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
And I agree with you. I
predict one of two things: Mighty Ducks, the Land, or Mighty Ducks on Ice.
Right.
Musical.
It has to be something.
Hey, here we go. I like this. We'll put an ice rink, and we'll let Mike be the goalie, and we get to take shots on him.
Oh. Are you willing to play a little bit of hockey with me? Because I do know
hockey very well. Actually, believe it or not, I know hockey very well.
Oh, I do too.
Well, I know.
I am a hockey.
Wonderful.
I've dented a few teeth in my lifetime playing hockey as a kid.
Let's put it this way. I know how the game is played.
And I've had a few chipped teeth.
Now, if you guys have skated and been on ice, what position were you? Mostly.
Me?
Yeah. Either one.
Well, when I did play, which was years ago, but it was in a different way. But yes, I was on the ice before. And I was kind of like defense, but I will be honest with you. How I actually got started to like hockey was there was a local minor league team near where I grew up, and I became an instant fan. I loved it. I mean, I actually know a lot about hockey. I know how it's played. I know that I absolutely love my Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, yes, I am a Philadelphia fan, true and true. Yes, they do have a team.
Yes, it
we do.
So does Seattle.
Yeah.
So does Detroit.
And Seattle is the newest one.
I know.
Well,
70.
Actually, I think the oldest one would be the Red Wings, followed by the 76ers.
Probably,
and then
yeah.
I'd have to look at that. I could be wrong. 76 might be, but I think Detroit came out before.
Actually,
76.
no. It was actually
Or before
Toronto.
the Flyers.
It was actually Toronto.
Could have been Toronto.
It
No.
is Toronto.
I'm talking about what the three teams we're talking about.
Oh.
I think Detroit came before the Flyers did.
Detroit did because they were part of the original 6.
Correct.
When the
And
league
Detroit, because we're talking
the league
Detroit, I
became
think that they came
expansion
out in the 1930s.
in 1967, the Flyers were one of the teams.
Welcome to Hockey History at Dave's channel.
Let me tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're traveling on
in
ice.
the 70s.
Well, hey, we're
In the
talking about
70s.
going to listen. I keep
Flyers
saying
were
you need
right
to go to Alaska and Antarctica. So there you go.
And
Plenty
we
of
won
ice
2
for you.
Stanley
Dog
Cups
jetting.
back-to-back.
Yeah, dog sledding. Yeah.
And the Philadelphia and believe it or not, the Philadelphia Flyers nickname at the time were the Broad Street Bullies. And let me tell you,
Yeah, but they didn't
you
have
want
the
to talk
players.
about hockey? Oh yeah.
Hey, they didn't have the players like the Red Wings did, like Gordie Howe. And no, you want to hear something interesting?
Oh, no.
No. You want to hear something interesting? My mom babysitted for Gordie Howe's kids.
You're kidding.
No.
Well, that's the neatest thing I've
She
ever heard.
babysitted for Gordie Howe's kids.
My goodness, that's wonderful.
That was cool.
Neat.
So, you know what? Every team has its up and downs. I know right now. Red Wings
Believe me,
aren't
the
doing
Flyers
so
have
hot.
had their ups and downs.
I won't even get into the Pistons. We'll leave the Pistons alone right now.
Want to try to go back onto Disney somehow?
Yeah, let's go back to the Anaheim Ducks.
Can I say something on that, Dave? Honestly,
What?
I feel so bad for that team because
you know what?
Fans tell the team.
Well, Red Wings have had their
Detroit, I'm
fair
not
share of
kidding.
championships, though. Think about it. Red Wings have had to listen.
Flyers
There was
got
not
it.
when Eiderman was playing.
Mhm.
There was any barely team that could beat when we had Probert, Eiderman.
Let me tell you,
In the 90s, there was no way they could touch the Red Wings at
in
that
the
point.
70s, Dave, the Philadelphia Flyers, they would fight everybody.
Oh no!
And let me tell you, it was some beatouts from what I know.
Maybe in the early 70s, but when
They were.
when you had
We
what's his
still have the
name?
record for most penalty minutes by one player.
Yeah, we'll talk hockey after.
Yep.
We'll
Hockey talk
after.
with Space
Because
Mountain
you know
Dave.
what? I'll tell you one player that actually you guys might have had it in the early 70s, but the Los Angeles, I can't think of Kings.
Los Angeles Kings.
When Wayne Gretzky came in, they pretty much rolled the ice in the late 70s
They
into the
did.
early 80s. Because Wayne Gretzky,
They did.
I hate to say it, Wayne Gretzky,
They
he
did.
is the GOAT of hockey. He was one of the best. That I would say he was the best.
I beg to differ, but that's okay.
There's been
Anyways, I need to
people
get a
from
better
different
team.
teams that have been the best for different teams.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but look at what Wayne Gretzky did. He put some records up. Let's go on to Disney. We're supposed to be talking.
Alrighty, guys. I need to get to bed because I'm tired.
I want to talk
I'm gonna
about
head-
this before he has to try to get to bed.
I'm gonna head out.
I got a little bit of time, so if you got a little bit of time, Richard, we can go ahead. Hey,
No,
good.
I have
Thank
to
you
head
for
out pretty
being
soon.
on,
It's going to
Mike.
get late for me, too.
Go get some sleep. And I know it's getting late for you, so we'll see you later. Have a good,
All right.
enjoy your guys tomorrow because I'm going to hang out with family. And then, like
Yeah.
I said, gotta be here Saturday. We're going to be putting some Legos together, so you might want to find some crosswork or something to do. We'll make it a working.
Well,
and like
you know
I said,
what?
I may even
If you
have
put
some
Legos
photos of my
together, I'll
dad.
start the cross stitch in the corner.
There you go.
Woo!
Hey, get some coloring books. That works too. But
Listen,
you know what? We're gonna have fun, and we're gonna have a different Disney Cafe chat.
Yeah, we are. I think it's great. I mean,
And like I said, you guys will get to see some of the pictures probably from today. And
Disney Craft and Chat.
I like
Hey,
it.
hey, as long as you got your drinks and snack for the cafe chat.
Oh, gosh. You're turning me red over
Oh,
here.
I think we're anyway.
Starbucks
Mike,
is
have a
open.
good night. Thank you for being here, buddy, and
Good night.
we'll talk about
It's
this
so good to
last
see you
thing.
guys.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Richard, I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Mike, we'll see you.
Wait a minute.
I wanted to save this for right before he went out.
I want to talk about this.
Because he has an opinion on it. Finally.
I'm very pleased with this coming from an ECB user like myself. I am very pleased with this. I cannot wait to use them. And honestly, I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Yep.
For this.
Updated Walt Disney World buses debut with new wheelchair and ECV system.
They needed this badly.
They look the same.
Yeah, same buses.
It says they look the same. They just have a lot more of the buses now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm very pleased with this actually because as an ECB user, I like how much wider it is, which is good. I like that there's more room. That's good. Like, I'm very pleased with this. I really am.
Yeah, I really think they needed more buses for them.
Yes.
And then I honestly think they need a lot of buses that are strictly for regular riders and a lot of buses for the ECB.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what I do like about these, Dave, is that you can actually plug in your phones.
Yes, that was the other thing.
Which is great.
I like that. I was glad to hear that they were putting in more chargers. They were putting more chargers in around. They were putting more chargers where the ECVs are, and up front and in the back.
That's good.
So
everybody's on the phone. Everybody's using the chargers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I like
now
that.
You can charge your phone or you charge your battery that you've used all day.
Yes, that's also a good thing as well. And as an ECB user, yes, I think it is a great idea for both your phone as well.
They needed it. It was a great update. And then we're seeing in the future, I would say probably about a week, when these are finally transitioned in, how long it will take for them to lower the times it takes to do the resorts.
You're right.
It'll be curious to hear reactions. We'll have to talk about the reactions when they start rolling in.
Yeah.
Now, the Richard, do we know if some of these buses are going to be character buses? You know what I'm
We
talking
do not know, but the way they sounded like they will still have the same frame, so they will still have the ability to have the same wraps on them that they had on some others.
Because honestly, I would love a Fantasia bus. I would love a Figment bus. Now I know they have a Figment bus.
I know they do have a Figment bus.
I would love to see a Fantasia bus.
I'm still waiting to see the Figment bus.
You've never seen it?
They have it, but I haven't seen it. Although the only ones I've ever seen are Minnie, Mickey, Donald, Daisy, Pluto, Goofy. I have not seen Figment. I've seen the other ones. I've seen some of the Star Wars. I've seen that. I have not been fortunate enough to see the Figment yet. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. I know it's around because I've heard
people say Olaf bus, which was fun.
Yeah, I've seen Olaf bus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to see the Figment. That's the only bus I haven't seen.
But I heard also in the near future, not this year, but one of the near years coming up, that they might think about putting on the side or the things on it, and it'll make it look like it's the monorail system.
Now I'm in on that.
So it'll look like it's the monorail, but it's a bus, and it goes into the bus terminal.
I think we need the Space Mountain.
Oh, well, that's true.
Please stand clear of the doors. What?
I do like the monorail. That would be a cool idea. I thought you could put them in. I actually like the wrappings if it was a monorail. That would look good.
Exactly.
Let me ask you. I would love the wrappings if it was a monorail. Now,
or make it look like it's part of the Skyliner, so that like little gondolas partway through it.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a cute idea. Think they might expand the Skyliner?
They might.
I know they won't. I know they won't go towards Magic Kingdom. It's too far away.
They won't go towards. Well, wait a minute. They actually could go towards All Stars as well as Animal Kingdom. They could do it if they.
They were thinking about doing a Wilderness Lodge at one time.
I would like to see them go towards Wilderness Lodge, and I would like to see them
fun.
They actually could go to Animal Kingdom, I suspect.
I think they can, yes, but it's going to be a little fun to try to tricky to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Kingdom does not have, other than boats or buses, they don't have transportation to get there.
Actually, the only way you can get over to Animal Kingdom is by bus.
Bus or boats?
What?
Not
boat?
Animal Kingdom.
Oh,
What
no.
boat?
Just buses.
Just buses. All buses.
I've seen someone do it before where they did a boat.
Oh,
They
no,
went the
boat?
furthest it'll go, but then there was a walking path they were allowed to walk on that took them to.
I want to hear about this boat thing.
Oh, you'll have to tell us
It's a
about
friendship
that.
boat. It's the furthest one that goes out there. So I don't remember
know.
which one it was to. I have to look that up, but
Okay.
Oh, please do, because that would be curious.
Yeah.
I'm even curious.
The only way I know how to get to Animal Kingdom is by bus.
yeah, I know.
From everywhere.
It needs another transportation system.
A subway system.
Yeah, subway.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Oh. Well,
a light
no.
rail system would work.
Well, it would kind of work.
A
Okay,
light rail
so
system would
a
work.
monorail that goes underneath the ground and
Mhm.
becomes a subway. And then goes to Animal Kingdom, does a loop,
This
comes back up
is-
out.
Animal Kingdom Station transfer to All-Star Sports, All-Star Music, All-Star Movies.
Oh. And there's a big enough entrance. You both can vouch for me for this one at the front of Animal Kingdom that they could put up subway things.
Absolutely, they could. Or
Stairs.
even light rail.
Yeah,
Could.
light rail. Or,
They could
yeah,
do it
light rail.
if they do it right.
Here's my thing.
All right.
They would not want to put something over there that would hinder any of the wildlife, which would take out the monorail and the Skyliner.
That would
Really?
that would be
That's
that would
the
be
issue
hindering
with the
it too,
animal.
because they would alter it, and we all know that Disney's, with the agreements that they've come through over the years,
Yeah.
they have to keep so much land.
You don't
for
want
the
to hurt
natural
the
habitat.
animals. They don't want to hurt the animals, so.
And the problem is also that they don't have a system that works for Disney right now. So
Not yet.
Good
but
luck.
We're coming up with it.
they did, but they don't now.
Right.
Now,
Skyliner.
I think the Skyliner works for the majority of Epcot, Riviera, Hollywood
It
Studios,
does,
and all
and
that.
it would be
but-
nice to expand. How would they expand the maybe Riviera and make it so it goes longer? But where would it go to? What's out there?
Nothing. Nothing.
I can't think of any.
There's nothing.
Well,
after this.
yes. If they took the Skyliner, they could go to Swan and Dolphin.
Swan and Dolphin, all you got to do is walk
I know.
through International Gateway. You go
You know,
up the bridge,
curious.
all the
I'm
way to the
just
back.
wondering.
That's where you do it.
Well, no, you'd have to rebuild something. I was going to say, you got a lot of area on that back area of Disney Springs where the parking lot is.
Mm-hmm.
That you could actually, not Mike. You actually could. That they actually could. I wonder if they could carry. And this, this is just speculation. Take it from Riviera to Disney Springs. You already know that they go across the street and go down to Epcot.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean that would take money. That would take money, and they'd have to reroute it a tad thing. But I don't know. That might be too much. That would probably cost them more to.
Yeah, I don't know the exact line. It's always a straight line that they have to do. Well, sometimes a little curved.
Right.
But mostly straight line.
Oh yeah. Well, because
And I can't think of anything that's by Riviera that would be like that. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, but you got to think about it. Disney Springs.
Unless they create one.
Disney Springs is just a short down on the left side from Riviera. But the question is, how would you reroute it to get it to there? And that then, because you got the turns that go.
Yeah. You'd have to get a straight line B shot towards it.
Because you're going a straight line from the Riviera to across the road to where that first turn station, where the turn station is, going towards
Beach Club and all that is that right there. So
yeah.
Which Beach Club does have two different. Remember a T's right there. It goes like that. There's two Skyliners right there.
Well, and they do got that thing. But then yeah, I suppose they could probably do it. I don't know.
So what parks do not have the Skyliner?
The Caribbean.
What parks do not have the Skyliner? So we have a Skyliner that goes to Epcot, and we have a Skyliner that goes to Hollywood
and Center and Art of Animation.
Yes, but those are hotels. But those I'm saying parks. We only have two, right?
Only Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Why don't they make one that goes all the way to Magic Kingdom?
Well, because you got the boats for one, and you got the monorail.
They got the monorail. So does Epcot.
Epcot don't have the boats though. Oh,
yes,
well, yeah, they do because they go to.
Yes, they do.
It's
a nice thought, though. Epcot is the one that has the most, really, because it has every single transportation system on it.
Yes, it's got all four of them. It's got the buses, the monorail, the boats, and the Skyliner.
Yep, all four.
But see, what I don't understand is, because if you think about it, that road that goes by our Art of Animation and Pop Century?
Yeah.
Is one of the roads that go back towards Animal Kingdom and those resorts back there. Why can they not carry it on from there to back those areas?
They could, somehow.
I'd have to look at exactly, but because I do know I've gone down that road, and that road takes you back towards where you would have to get on the highway going towards the backside of Hollywood Studios going that way, and it would go towards ESPN.
Well, I know Epcot is kind of like in the middle of where the Skyliner ends up at Epcot is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing by it. So, but I'm wondering about Hollywood Studios being able to have a connection on it.
Probably not, because you'd have to go over the Hollywood Studios.
Well, it comes in on one side. You could have another one pop up on the other side, go up.
Then where would you take it?
I don't not quite know yet.
Now, because if you wanted, and not everybody goes to ESPN.
Yes,
but I know that you could easily. And this is just theoretically. I do know that they could go from the station at Pop Century and Art of Animation to ESPN, because that road that goes by there takes you to the Osceola.
Yeah.
Thing, and that goes towards the ESPN right there. So
yeah.
But then could you carry that from there to the Animal Kingdom? Because that's going back towards that way. I'd have to look at the property. I cannot.
Could they think of a different way of transportation other than one of those four? I don't know.
That would be curious. Like a small train that goes just around the property. Yeah. That would be an interesting thing.
Yeah.
You know what? That would be interesting.
Train would be kind of cool, really, especially if it does it to the resorts that don't have transportation. A train would be fantastic to hook it up so it works over in Animal Kingdom.
You know what? Maybe that'll be our topic for next week on travel.
It's an interesting thought.
Ways of traveling.
And then don't make it look like a steam train, like it's part of history, but don't make it a steam train. Have it be electric.
That's what hold on to that thought. Let's make that our conversation next week. The futuristic transportation of Disney World.
Yeah.
I actually like that.
Have a Disney World bright line going across.
There you go. And they're still going. Good gravy.
We can go off anytime you want. I'm thinking about heading out pretty soon.
Well, I know I'm not getting up anytime. It's only 11:12. And I get to sleep in the morning, so
I know, but
I need to go. Have to go. I'm having. That actually, I like that idea of making a train like a train that looks.
I left it out there,
That
and now
actually,
now I just have to think of it, and maybe put it on paper or something. We'll see what
yeah.
I come up with.
Take a look at the map and just curious because I'm just curious. I mean, I am curious on two questions. What could they do with the Skyliner to expand it?
Yeah.
To the other parts of the park. Plus, what other type of transportation could they come up with? Which I like the train idea, which we could expand on next week. How could they do it?
Disney World is not like Disneyland, where there's a land underneath of the world. So, subway.
No, the only one that has underneath the world is Magic Kingdom with the
Magic
utility.
Kingdom. But what if they made a subway system underground?
Yeah. Now, are you talking just for cast members? Or are you talking for transportation as a whole?
Transportation.
Well, they could do. I like it. They just
it's a different. It's different.
You just couldn't connect it to the utilidors because you wouldn't want people walking.
Exactly. You would not. It would not connect to Magic Kingdom, which is kind of funny because that's what it needs to connect to. But
but you can connect it to.
Just yes, it could.
It could connect to the parking lot or somewhere in that area. Just not
connect to the corner of it, and then have it so that entrance. There is a cast entrance and exit that they're allowed to use that subway system that way. Easier. It's right beside it.
Yeah, just stop it right at the TTC and not connect directly to the.
That's a good thought too. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking because you don't really. I mean, because you wouldn't want people walking in the utilidors. I mean, that's.
Utilidor.
Unless
you would not.
Right, unless you're on a VIP tour that like the Magic Keys to the Mat or Magic.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you do have some of them that go under the utilidors with that, but you just don't. You wouldn't want the whole public under the utilidor. They'd be rushing down there, and you'd have a mess.
People trying to open up. Yeah. They just don't make it so they connect. I thought that making them connect would allow the
question is where would be a good place to connect it that, like you said, where the CMs could use it, but not where people can get to the utilidors.
Yeah.
Interesting thought.
Yeah.
That's some good interesting thought.
Maybe have something kind of like remember the movie Zootopia did have a monorail in it. Very beginning of the movie. That's how she got to Zootopia itself.
Underground?
No, it's overground. It's a monorail system.
Oh, so like the current monorail system that we got that
it's weird. They have a monorail system.
Kind of like the trains we know need replacing because they're,
Yes. And where have those things went? Because we did pay for them at one time, I thought.
We did. They're still operating as far as I know.
Where did they go? That was years ago.
I don't know. They're still operating. I'll go check when I go in a few weeks. I'll make sure it's still operating. I'll make sure the monorails are still operating.
Where did the new monorail systems? Because that is one thing, not the CEO right now, Iger, but it was the person before that was the bad person. He paid for a bunch of the new monorail systems to be placed into that area. They haven't came yet.
That's true. Nobody's
They're
even
lost.
thought that. You know what? My question is, where is that discussion? Because have you noticed nobody's brought that up in months?
Shoving it. Yeah.
It got buried under all his mess.
Yep. Yeah. They're just shoving it underneath of everything else. So they're just creating a nice pile of things we do not know.
And
from his era.
And just
Chapek.
Yeah. And I will tell this for anybody that catches the replay, we've talked a lot about Disney and Disney movies, but these are things that when you are traveling, you think about,
Yeah.
you know, what you're going to do as far as the transportation, you know, what kind of entertainment you want to deal with, restaurants. Eventually, we'll get back to the food here on the Disney show here. We'll have to go back to the Disney food one of these days because you can't talk Disney without having somebody asked me
we
that
transitioned
today,
away from it because we started our own channel, but still.
Yeah, but you know, we still talk food on here from time to time.
Yeah, that should
because somebody asked me the other day, I said, and I jokingly said back, I said, there ain't no way you can talk about Disney and not talk about food.
You can't. You can't, and that's why it's the best way is to start up a food channel. I'm sorry. Now, for anyone that is wondering,
talk about the food and then send them right over to me, and I can schedule them a trip to Disney wherever they want to go.
Yeah. So tomorrow, this is me closing. I'm sorry, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I am too. I'm gonna.
Tomorrow, if I remember correctly, at 7 Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing a live on Park and Eat. So we'll be talking about the California Food and Wine Festival offerings.
Oh, I'll try. Yeah, I should be able to watch you.
Yeah, 7 Eastern Standard Time.
Like I said, I'm gonna my two sisters are gonna be leaving in over the next couple of days, so I'm gonna spend a little bit more time with them tomorrow. But don't forget, so no show tomorrow. Saturday, I'm hoping there's the Disney Extra News, but I'm probably gonna hang out with my cousin, who lives with me. And we're probably going to maybe go to St. Augustine for the day. But if not, you want to be here for Saturday night because you'll want to see me putting a Lego together. Who knows what Richard and I'm sure they'll come up with something to do. Hey, bring colors, bring sewing, do whatever.
And you can ask Mikey himself. I can draw, so I might be just using a white piece of paper and drawing out something.
You know what? And that's fine.
Yeah.
But then we'll share news. And like I said, I may share some of the pictures from today and some pictures of my dad to, you know.
Yeah. Remember.
He was supportive of me. My family have been supportive of me doing this, which I love. And now particularly supportive of doing my travel agency. So we'll definitely have the cafe chat at 10:30. And then next week, normal schedule, normal stations, normal channel, same time, same place, change channels.
Yeah.
Anyways, again, thank you for being here, Richard. I'm glad to see you guys. I love our streams. Let's face it. We have some interesting, good chat talks.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very, very spirited this time around, too, on some things.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that goes to show you how what I like about it is we can disagree without getting into a full-blown,
Yeah.
And because we understand that we're all different. We're going to like things differently, and we look at things differently. But the thing of it is, what I like about it is it gives people alternatives to see how things differently.
Yeah. I'm going to say goodbye.
Anyways, have a good night, Richard. Please go check out my partner, Bloomin' Cheesa, on his regular channel. Because do you got a video?
This channel right here.
Fantastic
Tuesdays and many other things
on Tuesday, and then he does his part with Mike. They do the Park and Eats, and I'm going to tell you this: I heckle them, but I'm going to tell you straight up now, and this is being serious. They do a great job on their shows on your Park and Eats.
We love talking about food.
You guys do. Hey, I'm being serious out of the heart. I mean, you guys do a great job.
Yeah,
seriously.
We do, but we love you talking about our food. We can't help it. So,
and that's good. I'm glad you guys do, because it saves me of having to do food reviews.
Oh yeah, we do them as much as we can.
That way I can concentrate on everything else that I need to. Anyway, so thank you, Jeannie. Thank you for popping in and out. I know you've probably been over on the other stream as well. Mary, thank you for being here tonight.
Yep, I even seen Dave here earlier. David,
That's me.
up, 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 up. Oh yeah, okay.
That was me putting the links in.
I thought it was Dave Stragand. I thought.
Nah, that was me. We've only had, we've had up to like 4 to 5 watching, but
Yeah.
only Mary and Jeannie have been saying, because everybody's over out watching. So with that, guys, I'm going to say, let the Cantrell Country Travelway help you find your magical vacation. Have a great night, and we'll see you all later.